Hi reception, welcome to your literacy video for today. Now, does anybody know what special day it is today? That's right, it's World Book Day. And it's called World Book Day because it's something that children all over the world are taking part in. Today, children are thinking about their favourite books. They are reading and enjoying different books. They are doing activities linked to their books, and some children are even dressing up. And I hope if you're at home today, you might have a go at dressing up too, perhaps as one of your favourite book characters. Now, this video is a chance for me to share with you my favourite story. And it's been my favourite story for a long time. Even when I first started teaching, I used to tell children this was my favourite story. And it's my favourite story for lots of reasons. But what I'd like to do first is to share the story with you and then talk to you about reasons why afterwards. Are you ready? Now, some of you will probably know this story. And it has been made into a cartoon, so I bet lots of you have heard of it too. So let me hold it up. It's this story. It's called The Snail and the Whale. Have you heard of this story before, reception? You have? Wow. Well, let me share it with you anyway, because I really love hearing it. I must have heard it 100 times already, but it's still great every time I listen. So this story is called The Snail and the Whale, and it's by author Julia Donaldson. And Julia Donaldson is a very, very famous author who, I bet lots of you know other stories that she's done as well. Okay. Sorry, reception. Had to pause the video quickly then. Okay. So back to the story then. So, like I said, this is by a very famous author, Julia Donaldson. And I'm going to hold the page up so we can see. There we go. And I'm going to share with you my favourite story. This is the tale of a tiny snail and a great big grey-blue humpback whale. This is a rock as black as soot. And this is a snail with an itchy foot. The sea snail slithered all over the rock and gazed at the sea and the ships in the dock. And as she gazed, she sniffed and sighed, "Ah, the sea is deep and the world is wide. How I long to sail," said the tiny snail. Do you know what it means to sail? That's right, in a ship, to sail over the sea to explore different places. These are the other snails in the flock who all stuck tight to the smooth black rock and said to the snail with the itchy foot, "Be quiet, don't wriggle, sit still, stay put." But the tiny sea snail sighed and sniffed, then cried, "I've got it, I'll hitch a lift." This is the trail of the tiny snail, a silvery trail that looped and curled and said, "Lift wanted around the world." This is the whale who came one night when the tide was high and the stars were bright. A humpback whale immensely long, who sang to the snail a wonderful song of shimmering ice and coral caves and shooting stars and enormous waves. And this is the tale of the humpback whale. He held it out of the starlit sea and said to the snail, "Come sail with me." This is the sea, so wild and free, that carried the whale and the snail on its tail to towering icebergs and far-off lands. Reception, where do you think they visited here? Yeah, somewhere very cold and icy. Could it be the North Pole or the South Pole? Well, I can see some penguins, and I know penguins live in the South Pole. So I think perhaps they've gone to Antarctica, somewhere down there. I bet it feels very chilly. With fiery mountains and golden sands. Fiery mountains? What on earth do you think a fiery mountain is, reception? Of course, a volcano. A volcano erupts hot lava that looks like fire. I don't think they're somewhere cold now, are they? No, it looks very tropical. I can see a beach and I can see lots of palm trees along the beach too. These are the waves that arched and crashed, that foamed and frolicked and sprayed and splashed the tiny snail on the tail of the whale. And he's holding his eyes closed. I think he's holding on tight and hoping the water doesn't go in his eyes. These are the caves beneath the waves, where stripy fish with feathery fins and sharks with hideous toothy grins swam round the whale and the snail on his tail. What do you think the sharks are thinking in this picture? Do you think they're thinking, a snail for dinner? They could be. Who knows? I don't think it'd fill them up. He's very small and they're very big. This is the sky so vast and high, sometimes sunny and blue and warm, sometimes filled with a thunderstorm, with zigzag lightning flashing and frightening the tiny snail on the tail of the whale. Do you get scared of thunderstorms? I do sometimes too. I like to watch them, but when the loud thunder crackles, sometimes it makes me jump. Perhaps the snail's feeling a bit like that. And she gazed at the sky, the sea, the land, the waves and the caves and the golden sand. She gazed and gazed, amazed by it all. And she said to the whale, I feel so small. She feels small. I wonder why that's making her sad. Perhaps she thinks because she's small, she's not as amazing as all the large, wonderful things around her that she's seeing. I wonder. But then came the day the whale lost his way. These are the speedboats running a race, zigging and zooming all over the place, upsetting the whale with their ear-splitting roar, making him swim too close to shore. This is the tide slipping away. And this is the whale lying beached in a bay. So what's happened is the whale's got too close and he's got stuck on the sand. And then the tide will go out. So at different times of the day, the tide will be close to the land or further away. But when it goes further away, the water goes back. The whale couldn't get off. He was stuck on the beach. Quick, off the sand, back to the sea, cried the snail. I can't move on land. I'm too big, moaned the whale. The snail felt helpless and terribly small. She is too small to move the whale, isn't she? How can she get the big whale back into the water? What can she do? She's only a tiny snail. Or is she? Then, I've got it, she cried, and started to crawl. I must not fail, said the tiny snail. What will happen if she does fail and doesn't get help? That's right, the whale could die. He needs to be in the water. This is the bell on the school in the bay, ringing the children in from their play. This is the teacher holding her chalk. 10 in the class, sit straight, don't talk. This is the board as black as soot. And this is Snail with the itchy foot. A snail! A snail! The teacher turns pale. She's gone pale because she's feeling a bit sick and a bit worried. Perhaps she doesn't like creepy crawlies like snails. Look, say the children, it's leaving a trail. This is the trail of the tiny snail, a silvery trail saying, save the whale. These are the children running from school, fetching the fireman and digging a pool, squirting and spraying to keep the whale cool. And look, all of these people have come to the beach to help the whale because the snail went and got help. What a clever thing she is. This is the tide coming into the bay. So look, the water went away and now it's coming back. And these are the villagers shouting, hooray, as the whale and the snail travel safely away. There they are. You see them, and aren't they? Oh, they look much happier now. They're both smiling. Back to the dock and the flock on the rock, who said, how time's flown, and haven't you grown? I think they might have been gone a long time, because they went on a really big adventure, didn't they? And the whale and the snail told their wonderful tale of shimmering ice and coral caves, and shooting stars and enormous waves, and of how the snail, so small and frail, with her looping, curling, silvery trail, saved the life of the humpback whale. Then the humpback whale held out his tail, and on crawled snail after snail after snail. Can you see all the snails have then decided they want to have an adventure too? And they're all going to climb on the tail. Here they are. Can you see them? There they are. And they sang to the sea as they all set sail on the tail of the grey-blue humpback whale. And that's the end. And that reception is my favourite story of all time. I really love it. And I love it for lots of reasons. I like seeing all the different places the snail visits. So that's really interesting. And the pictures are really detailed too. And if you look carefully, you can spot lots of animals hiding in those pictures. But what I love most is how the snail felt small and helpless and felt like she wasn't that important. But she was, because she did the most important thing of all. She saved the whale. She saved her friend by going to get help. And I think that taught her a big lesson that actually it doesn't matter how small you are, we can all be a hero. We can all do the right thing and we can all help someone, can't we? And I really like that. And I also like how the big humpback whale is carefully looking after these tiny, delicate snails. And I like that this big, giant creature is actually very gentle and really kind to take these snails on a big adventure. So there's lots of things I like about this book. I like the different place they visit. I like what the characters are like. So the snail and the whale, they're the main characters. But I also like the message of the story. That it teaches us that doesn't matter how small you are, we can all make a difference. We can all help others. So your task today, reception. First of all, I want you to enjoy some books. Spend some time looking at books at home. I want you to think about what your favourite book is and why. What is it? Which one do you like? Do you like a storybook? Have you got a favourite poet book? Perhaps you've got a favourite information book you love to read to find out things. Doesn't matter, whatever it is, maybe you've got a favourite comic book. Talk about that with your helper. And then I've also sent home some ideas of other activities you might like to do as part of World Book Day. And I'm also going to do a little quiz in the next video. So if you'd like to come and have a little bit of a game with me, please join me on the next video because we're going to be doing a bit of a game together. And you're going to need to use what you know about lots of famous stories to guess what I'm describing. Okay, so have a wonderful day. Enjoy those books. Talk with your helper about what you like about them, what your favourite stories are, and then let us know how you get on. Okay, reception. Have a great day. Bye now.